Hello everyone, and welcome to another Top 5 Records video. And today I'm going to be ranking all studio albums by Led Zeppelin. The last couple of months I have been taking a chronological look at their body of work, and listening to the albums in chronological order, I did get a different understanding of their work. So now, the difficult final task of ranking these albums. Without further ado, I'm going to start off with the number 9. The number 9, to I don't think anyone's surprise, is Coda. Coda was their 80s studio album that was released as their final record, but it did not contain new material. After the passing of drummer John Bonham, they decided not to record new stuff, and basically, Coda are the leftovers. Now, that doesn't mean that these leftovers are necessarily bad. As a matter of fact, there are some moments like the song We're Gonna Groove or I Can't Quit You Baby, which are early Royal Albert Hall 1970 performances. And on these songs, you can hear that the band is so powerful, so energetic. I would love to have a full live album of that Royal Albert Hall show, because especially this early Led Zeppelin stuff is something, as a music fan, I crave to listen to. There was something going on there. It was so exciting. And these two songs on this album give us a little moment of what it must have been like. Now, that is great. Also, a song like Poor Tom, a Led Zeppelin III outtake, definitely a nice acoustic folk song. I love the harmonica there. Great moments. The bad thing is, though, there are also songs that are rejects, like Walter's Walk, which just never works for me. It's a House of Holy reject, and it's obvious why it's a reject. Then we get a lot of the 1978 stuff, which was left off in Through the Outdoor. Um, I mean, there's a reason it was left off there, and as a matter of fact, this is a bridge to the number 8, because honestly, In Through the Outdoor at number 8, um, well, again, it's not a bad album. It is okay at best. I don't dislike listening to it. I just think it's really boring, and I think that Led Zeppelin at this moment did not have a lot to say. It was also a problematic recording session. John Bonham was struggling with his alcohol addiction. Jimmy Page was struggling with his heroin addiction. Robert Plant was in grief, and John Paul Jones took over. Now, John Paul Jones is an incredible musician. He's also an incredible arranger and composer, but he was experimenting with synthesizers or keyboards, and that just doesn't feel like it has the soul of the Led Zeppelin that I love. And now I do understand that a band can develop. I'm not saying that a band should always play the same songs, stick true to its nature. But if you are experimenting and going into another phase, that's not a guarantee that you're gonna go full Bowie. That every new moment is gonna be interesting, or Dylan for that matter. Full Dylan. Not everything is gonna work out, and this one, it doesn't work out for me. At number 8. Now, number 7, it already gets very, very good. Led Zeppelin, Presence at number 7. I love this record. It was one of the first Led Zeppelin records that I got. I got immediately hooked by Achilles' Last Stand, the opening track, which is really, really great, really powerful. This feels like such a tour de force hard rock record that it just hits you, it strikes. It's really really good. Might not be as diverse and experimental or as outgoing as, well, the top of this list, but hey, that doesn't say for a lot of things. That doesn't say anything, because Led Zeppelin is just one of the biggest and the best hard rock bands, and their number 7 early on in the ranking is already a great, great piece of 70s hard rock presence. Number 6. Yeah, Houses of the Holy. Now, Houses of the Holy, when I did the review of House of the Holy, which you can find on my channel, I struggled to a certain degree with the fact that we just got out of 1, 2, 3, 4, which is perhaps the most impressive streak by any band in a certain amount of time. And House of the Holy is a very good album. This is an incredible record with songs like The Ocean, No Quarter. The song remains the same. The Rain Song, Over the Hills and Far Away. They are experimenting again. They are trying out new sounds, and there are moments that work incredibly well. There are moments that work okay. All is good. All is good. But in the review itself, I was a bit harsh because of the chronological listening experience. It's like climbing up Mount Kilimanjaro, and then you face a beautiful new mountain, one of the most beautiful mountains in the world, but you just got the best from the best, and that's what it suffered from. Nevertheless, gorgeous record, beautifully mastered by Bob Ludwig. By the way, this is a Dutch pressing which has a Bob Ludwig mastering. Sounds incredible. Great album, masterpiece. At number 6, Houses of the Holy. Number 5. Yeah. This is Physical Graffiti. Now, Physical Graffiti is perhaps their biggest epic, in a sense that this is a double album. And it has so many spectacular moments. Well, just look at the packaging. Starting off with the packaging, it is already, in a certain degree, mythical. The artwork, the new labels that they designed for Swan Song, song like Bronier Or. I'm still pronouncing it wrong. I have been corrected in the other video about this record. 10 years gone. There's not a decent track list on here on this design, I believe. So I'll have to take a look at the labels to name specific songs, because I love this album. I gave it a lot of spins, but the track list out of my head, and I do these videos out of my head, because I think that keeps it more spontaneous. Black Country Woman, that's good. Boogie with Stu, Sick Again. But my favorite song of this album is on the other side. That is Kashmir. I think that is one of the big powerhouses in the world of rock and roll, of hard rock. It's one of the epic moments in the 70s. I mean, I mean, there's so many melodies going on. Work Plant is going insane. It is Led Zeppelin on such a strong, impactful moment. I just really love that. At number 5, Physical Graffiti. Now, the next moment is gonna get very, very hard. This is the moment I've been trying to avoid in a certain way, and I have been doubting. I've been doubting a lot, because The next four albums all have a very specific, unique quality. And in the catalog of most other bands, they would any of these records would be number one. The thing is, Led Zeppelin has four number one catalog albums, four records that define them, that have an impact. And it's not like one easily outnumbers the other or does the same thing another record does better. They all have, although they are numbered, such unique identity that I'd almost say that the sequence, the order is interchangeable, but I'm not going to say that because I have been taking care of this ranking. I have given this a lot of good thought. And the ranking is actually different than from my top 5 video. So here it comes. At number 4, Led Zeppelin III. Now, I gave this one another spin about a week ago. A friend of mine traded with me another First UK, a Red Plum. As you can see, the Red Plum sounds spectacular. It has in the dead wax the famous line, "Do what thou wilt," opening with the Immigrant Song. Massive piece of hard rock. I mean, just a and then the I mean, the sheer power of Plant's performance there, and just the way this guitar keeps rolling. I mean, like it's waves on the sea. It's so impactful. I love that song. Friends is good. Celebration Day. Then we go to Since I've Been Loving You. Ah, man, this is the stuff where dreams are made of. It's so good. And that's just side one. Side two, Gallows Pole. I love this. I believe it's a traditional, yeah, it says traditional arranged by Page Plant. A couple of weeks ago, I was listening to a podcast on the blues, and then I heard one of the older, even recorded in the 20s, old blues recordings of Gallows Pole, which also was very tasteful. Somehow, Led Zeppelin makes it part of this folkier, hard rock feel of this record, and it's a great way to open the next record, the next side. You know, it gets you into this mysticism, something that has been very close to what I feel as reality of real musical history. You know, of course, it's a traditional. Then you get a Tangerine. Sweet, sweet, gorgeous ballad. I love the solo in that song and the way Plant's vocal is just so softly, sweetly getting there. It's brilliant. On Your Stump, hats off to Roy Harper, who sang vocals on Pink Floyd's "Have a Cigar," a folk singer who was hanging around Led Zeppelin because the Led Zeppelin band members were big fans of his. His work, however, was not per se the stuff for a lot of Led Zeppelin fans. He does have some really good albums. Very interesting that Zeppelin was a fan of theirs. At number, I didn't put that incorrectly. Very great record. At number 4, a masterpiece, Led Zeppelin 4. At number 3, I can't actually believe I'm putting this at number 3. But although I might be doubting right now, and in the video of this record, I even said I would put it at number 1, I have to put this at number 3. Difficult as it may seem, brilliant as it is, it's just Led Zeppelin's biggest composition is Led Zeppelin II. Now, I have done a lot of videos about this record the last couple of months. I've been comparing different pressings. I've been comparing the classic records pressing, the Bernie Grundman fabulous classic records pressing, to this one. This is a Robert Ludwig um, so-called hot, no, not hot stamper, hot mastering. Somebody said you can't call it a hot mix because it's not a different mix, and that's true. It's not a different mix. It's just one of the most dynamic, gorgeous sounding pressings ever. Um, and that is just, I mean, this is one of the best sounding records in my collection, one of the best sounding records that I've ever heard. So why at number 3? Well, it sounds spectacular. It is a brilliant album. Again, the competition is just too big, but there is so much to love here. Opening with a whole lot of love, man. Uh, what a banger, what an opener. There have been a lot of nights here when friends came over and we're drinking beer, and then just before midnight, because I don't want to, I mean, I got to spare the neighbors, but just before midnight, Whole Lot of Love comes on and you start jumping. It's so good. What is and what should never be great. The Lemon song, also inspired by an old blues song about the squeezing of a lemon. And the lemon in this case is slang. Yes, he's not really interested in lemon. Thank you. Brilliant, brilliant song. Um, Again, one of those songs that just in its chord progression, one of those special intimate ballads that only only in such a masculine way Led Zeppelin can do this beautiful, intimate, tiny but strong, lovely short ballad. It's love it. Part 2, Heartbreaker. It's okay. Living, Loving, Made. Okay song. And there are actually those moments, okay, good songs that do not make this number 1. That's the thing, because after all, you get on Ramble On, which is incredible. Moby Dick, masterpiece, a masterpiece. It is just that this is a brilliant record, one of my favorite records in my collection. But if you have one moment that is not a 10 out of 10, then you're already not getting to the number 1 of this ranking, because the next record is, in my opinion, can I say all songs are 10 out of 10? Well, almost. At number 2, Led Zeppelin I. What I'm holding here is a George Piros cut. I also did a video in which I compared the George Piros cut to the Classic Records pressing and the first UK Red Plum. I also did one in which I also compared a German pressing, a later UK pressing. So I did 2 videos on the quality of this record. I just love this record. I keep hunting down great versions. I love the George Piros version, but if you want to find out what my favorite is, please take a look at my channel and you can see my comparison videos. Led Zeppelin I, for the last 2 or 3 years, may be my most played Led Zeppelin record. And again, it has to do with moments in which friends are coming over. And after a couple of beers and some good Belgian, French cheeses, Belgian beers, and German beers, I mean, combination of German beers and Belgian beers with blues rock like Led Zeppelin I, it is just out of this world good. And then always at a certain moment, someone at the table says, please give me some of that blues rock. Opening with Good Times, Bad Times. Then you get Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. And Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You for me is such a, specifically that song is such a beautiful, beautiful recording, because how can I put it like this? Right now, I'm hunting down classic blues albums like crazy. But there is this one thing that perhaps it's a personal flaw. I think that the true blues, the genuine feeling of getting close to the heart, is the old blues, and with old American blues. And I'm talking about the 20s field recordings, the Mississippi Delta blues, the stuff from Robert Johnson, but also people like Willie Dixon, Howlin' Wolf, Muddy Waters, Jimmy Witherspoon, Mississippi John Hurt. Actually, I'm not hunting down white singers. Do I believe that blues should be black? Um, I find it hard to give such a specific rule, but I am avoiding the white vocalists. Why? Well, it's like what Bob Dylan said about the blues. When a white vocalist does the blues, you hear them trying to get into the blues, which can work fine. Which can work fine. Paul Rodgers does a great job um, giving shape to the full romance of the blues, but you hear a white vocalist trying to get in. These black vocalists, you hear them try to get out. That's what Dylan said, and I completely agree. There is one moment, one instance, in which a white male vocalist, there's also an instance with a female vocalist, I'm talking about certain recordings by Janis Joplin in which I have the same feeling, but where a white male vocalist gives me that sense of blues. But immediately it becomes hard rock or blues hard rock. And that's Robert Plant here. That's Robert Plant here. Babe, I'm gonna leave you. The unique moment in which you hear him trying to get out. He's not trying to approach the blues, give an impression of the blues. He is, although it's not a typical blues structure, though you may say that it has, you can compare it to some Mississippi Delta blues moments, but this man is trying to break out, and it sounds so spectacular. And then he gets into this old Willie Dixon song. They get into this old Willie Dixon song. You shook me. You shook me all night long. Just the way he stretched it out. Oh man, that is so good. And if you think you've had all the most beautiful moments yet, no, then dazed and confused. I mean, just the way the bass guitar gets in there. I've been dazed and confused for so long. It's oh man, I just love this record. And that was just side one. Side two, Your Time Is Gonna Come. Great song. Black Mountain Side. Communication Breakdown. Man, I Can't Quit You, Baby. Another Willie Dixon song. How many more times? Oh, this is just. It's. I'm gonna be listening to this tonight. I got a friend coming over. I'm putting this to the side. This is gonna rock tonight. At number one, Led Zeppelin IV. Well, why this at number one? And you clearly saw me just enjoy talking about Led Zeppelin I, feeling the guitar, the vocals, the bass, the drums. I forgot to talk about the drums that are just so insane on Led Zeppelin I. How can I put something beyond that at number one? Well, this one has been with me for so long. Led Zeppelin IV. I mean, I was 15 years old when I got a CD of this. And it was like stepping into mysticism, into a magical world of hard rock. The entire packaging, the entire artwork, but mostly, of course, the songs. Black Dog, which they wrote about when they were writing for this record in Wales, in this cabin far away from a nearest town, very isolated. There was this black dog coming to their house, and Robert Plant just imagined the black dog having a lovely black dog woman, and that was the basis for one of the most powerful opening tracks ever. And usually you have such a powerful opening track, you just take a little gas back so you can continue the story. And that is not what Led Zeppelin is doing on Led Zeppelin IV. After Black Dog, you get rock and roll. It's been a long time since the rock and roll. I just freaking good. Is that it? No, no, no. And the Battle of Evermore. Great way to continue your narrative. Great way. That it? Is that it? No, 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 no. After that, we get to one of the holy moments of the 70s. Stairway to Heaven. Um, it's, I mean, what's left to say about Stairway to Heaven? A lot of people just get crazy how often they've heard people play that song on guitar in guitar shops, but it's 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 just spectacular. It's such a beautiful song. The house I'm living in right now, the first record and the first song I played here, to like baptize it into the music and in my world of vinyl, it was Stairway to Heaven. It's magical. It's tough to find the right words for it. Then side two, Misty Mountain Hop, and I have to correct myself. I just saw somebody in the comments say at my video for Led Zeppelin IV that I said that Smaug the dragon was living in the Misty Mountains in the book The Hobbit, and that's not true. He lives in or under the Lonely Mountain. The dwarfs come from or go through the Misty Mountains. So to all Lord of the Rings fans, and I'm actually a Lord of the Rings fan, I'm not a Lord of the Rings geek. I don't know a lot about it because I made this horrendous mistake. So yeah, Misty Mountain Hop, great song. Then you get to Four Sticks, good, and then it's really, really going to California. Just the way that song rolls, it's one of the best driving songs. It's I went to California for the first time in my life a year ago, and well, then that song, the song is already good, but with that memory, and then for When the Levy Breaks, um, incredible. I mean, this is the stuff what dreams are made of. Yeah, stuff what dreams are made of. It's like how Casablanca added new romance to the world of cinema. Led Zeppelin IV added romance to the world of music. So I'm curious, what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? This is my list. But do you agree or disagree? Leave a comment below and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.